of applause. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Andrea. Thanks for having me. I'm going back to the place that I come from. I'm going back to the girl that I ran from. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sad. Gonna get down on one knee. I'm going back. Hope she remembers me. This story starts when I was younger, living a life of crime. Me and a buddy robbed a gas station. He's still doing time. His little sister came by to see me. I fell for her curly red hair. We stole a car, drove to Tampa, and started this crazy affair. But came a day, I went away. I didn't think she was fun anymore. But years passed, now at last I know she's the only one I adore. This story goes like so many others. I don't quite know where. All I'm knowing is I'm going home to find her there. Place that I come from. I'm going back to the girl that I ran from. I'm going back. I'm going back. I'm going back to the girl that I ran from. I'm not sure all of these qualify as love songs, but you know, something in there about love. I fell in love with a pretty girl in Texas. Starry night, she sang a sad song. I asked her to come with me. She said there was no way. Mama would be home before too long. Well, I came down here to find myself a fortune. Get away from all my hooligans. When I lost my job, I lost my car. I nearly lost my mind. Now I'm waiting on a brand new day. Hey Lorna, will you bring out your guitar tonight? Lorna, won't you come outside and play? Lorna, tell me when you're gonna give up this fight. Lorna, let me know if I should stay. Well, I miss my people back in Carolina. The smell of wood smoke coming through the trees. feather floating on the breeze. Hey, Lorna, will you bring out your guitar tonight? Lorna, won't you come outside and play? Lorna, tell me when you're gonna give up this fight. Lorna, let me know if I should stay. Still I know that I can't go back there again. One too many times I crossed the line. If they found out I was back in town, they'd round me up for sure, and I'd spend the rest of my days doing time. Hey Lorna, will you bring out your guitar tonight? Lorna, won't you come outside and play? Lorna, tell me when you're gonna give up this fight. Lorna, let me know if I should stay. Lorna, let me know. Lorna, don't say no. Lorna, let me know if I should stay. Was it her mouth? Was it her eyes? Something about her had me hypnotized. She was sweet and also kind. Couldn't seem to get her off my mind. We met on the corner at the Easter Day Parade, 5th and 52nd, New York City. She was all in flowers, and I went as an egg. I had never seen someone so pretty. I held her hand, she took me home. After that I thought I knew her wrong. Walked in the park, went to the zoo. Her name was Isabella Andalou. Yes, her name was Isabella Andalou. 5 days in, she told me her old man was on his way. He'd been doing business in Far Rockaway. I turned pale and said, oh hell, I thought we were a thing. She said, honey, we will always be. When I left for Ohio, took me about 6 weeks to feel so. Now when I'm sad and feeling blue, I think of Isabella Andalou. Yes, I think of Isabella Andalou. Well, I think of Isabella. I don't think about her fella. I just think of Isabella Andalou. This next song's called Someday, and I wrote it. I started writing it. I was working up the courage. Oh my goodness, what guy? I'm trying to work up the courage to speak to Diane Ward and Jack Shawnee about recording the CD. And I was about to talk to them. I was like, you know what? I should ask them. Maybe I should ask them. Someday I'll ask them. And they said yes, which was great. And then this guy, Rich over here from YMT Music, heard some of that music, and he released my debut CD. So
and you're selling them tonight, right?
I've got some, yeah.
Good.
Everybody wants a CD.
Good.
They sound better than recorded in live. There's a lot of reasons why she could just say no. I'm going through them one by one. I've got a ways to go. I want to move away to tell myself I told you so. There's a lot of reasons why she could just say no. Someday I'm gonna ask her, maybe not today. Someday I hope I don't go miss this chance away. Oh, someday, someday, someday. There's a lot of questions waiting to be asked. There's a lot of future back there in the past. There's a couple of reasons why she might just say yes. I don't wanna rush things now. I'll take my time on hand, I guess. Someday I'm gonna ask her, maybe not today. Someday I hope I don't go miss this chance away. Oh, someday, someday, someday. So many times I took it on the chin. Who knows, maybe this time I could win. Someday I'm gonna ask her, maybe not today. Someday I hope I don't go miss this chance away. Oh, someday, someday, someday. Someday, someday. Oh, someday, someday, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, someday, someday.
Sound off.
It's a dangerous thing to try to tune this thing, right? Go right downhill. This next song is called French Canadian Girl. And when I was thinking about writing it, I was just putting together some things I'd heard and made up some other things. And
But when I was probably 21, I totaled my car, but that wasn't, it was no big deal. It was just an old heater, and nobody was hurt, and but I didn't have a car. And my brother, he was living in Bakersfield, California. He said, "Well, I've got a company car, so we got this spare little Honda Civic." And it was back in the days when those were, like a chainsaw and wheels, it was tiny. He said, "Why don't you fly out and you can have the car?" So I flew out and drove back. And, it had AM, FM radio, there was nothing, By the third day I was, but I think the first night, of course I didn't want to pay for a hotel, so I was driving, I guess it had to have been Arizona, and it got dark, and there was nothing around, and I said, well, I'll just pull over and hope nobody kills me. And I fell asleep, and then, it seemed like a minute later, there was this bright light in my face, and I was like, oh God, hopefully it's the cops and not some axe murder. And it was the sun coming up. I had slept, and the sun was coming up, and it was in the desert, and all these saguaro cacti were just beautiful. I was like, wow, that's great. And I'm home. But none of that's in the story. When I was young, I went to Quebec, met a girl, but what the heck, I had no clue what she was saying. She was cute, yeah, she was fine, she must have been about 29. I didn't know this game we were playing. Years passed, still at last, I wonder, does she ever cast her mind back to that fateful day? Does she care? Would she recall that day down by the waterfall? I yelled out, wait, don't run away. She was a French Canadian girl with a rhythm and a twirl. The way she looked at me and walked away. A French Canadian girl with those pretty eyes and curls. If only we could meet again someday. I've been to Boston, burned away, went to Paris in the rain. A gendarme stepped on my toe. He was big and he was mean. He said to me something obscene, but I don't speak French, so I don't know. Barcelona, they're so nice. They took my girlfriend dancing twice. When we got home, it was over. She went off to Kyoto for some resting caipirinhas. She said those boys down there know how to kiss. I stayed home and did the dishes, mowed the lawn and ate conditions. But I'll tell you one thing that I miss. It's that French Canadian girl with a ribbon and a twirl. The way she looked at me and walked away. French Canadian girl with those pretty eyes and curls. If only we could meet again someday. I went to Venice, then to Rome, saw the Pope and came back home, hoping those blessings really stuck. I drove cross country to LA, ate a cheeseburger on the way, lost a few fries under the seat of my truck. They're still there, but I don't care, because I am so lonesome. My gal's still real with her man. Maybe if I'm lucky, I will find another love. This time she'll be French Canadian. This time she'll be French Canadian. This time she'll be French Canadian. This next song, I promise I won't just bore you with stories, but there's a story for this one too. When I was in 8th grade, my family moved out to Montana, and we lived on this small island in the West Indies, so it was kind of a culture shock. And I had to go to school, of course, so they sent me to the closest school, which was in a little town called McLeod, Montana. And all there was in McLeod was a bar and a post office and a one-room schoolhouse. And I come from the developing world where they had big schools, and here this was in rural Montana. And it was literally 8th grade, 7th grade, a row of desks. And I think 5th grade had 2 rows of desks. One teacher, and she just went down the road, just crazy. I was like, really? And that's what they were doing. And first day, first morning, everybody stood up and there was a flag in the corner and we said the Pledge of Allegiance. And this island I lived on was British, so I didn't know what they were, I was like, what's this? What's this Pledge of Allegiance thing? I know that, you could do the, thing about the Queen, but I don't know about the Pledge of Allegiance. So the next day, the other boy in 8th grade, he said, why aren't you saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I was like, I'm just not feeling it, I don't know it is all. My first rodeo, girl in spurs and a cowboy, flying in the wild blue water, Montana in July, the river running high, the snow-capped crazy mountains shining in your eyes, whiskey in a paper cup, you made me wanna cry. You kissed him in the parking lot and never said goodbye. In that little one-horse town, nothing good ever came around. So much rust and emptiness, so much I didn't know, I guess. Barrel racers and clowning cleats, smiling through his broken teeth. My old man with his farmer's tan, running around playing kick the can. Straw hats and woolly chaps, shiny belt buckles and airless. In that old western town, everything seems so run down. So much dust and loneliness, so much I didn't know, I guess. First rodeo, it doesn't seem that long ago. Didn't turn down the chance to go again. Way back then, way back then. To my first rodeo, 8 seconds never seemed so slow. My first rodeo.
Why'd I spend these tears on you? Why'd I lie and say we're through? Why'd you make that sleep out? You know it just knocks me out. Someday maybe I'll break free. Until then, you're stuck with me. Why'd I burn through all these years? Why'd I hang on to these fears? Why'd you make that funny face? It just makes my poor heart race. Someday maybe I'll break free. Until then, you're stuck with me. And maybe someday I will split. Until that day, you know I'll sit right here and wonder why I love you so. Maybe someday you will leave, and I'll be left alone to grieve my fate and wonder why I love you so. Why'd I take you to the show? Why'd I even say hello? Why'd you kiss me on the lips? You know I just lose my grip. Someday maybe I'll break free. Until then, you're stuck with me. Someday maybe I'll break free. Until then, you're stuck with me. Andrea, how are we doing on should I do, I mean, what do I have, like a few more? A couple more is perfect. I used to go to these poetry readings and people would say, "You want more?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want This one I wrote for my beautiful wife, Patty. You and me, I didn't see this coming. It really took me by surprise. Suddenly, you're standing next to me and I'm looking in your eyes. I've seen love come and go, and I've seen friendships fade away. Still I know enough to tell you that I'm so glad you came my way. I love your hair, your silhouette as you ascend the stairs. your upper lip when you sip your cappuccino. Oh, oh, oh. And when you're mad, I tell myself that I am glad you're rather me and not someone else. I'd like to say I wouldn't be the man I am today without you. Times are tough. It's gonna take a while. Just when I've had enough, you show up with that smile. You and me, I didn't see this coming, but it took me by surprise. Suddenly, you're standing next to me and I'm looking in your eyes. I've seen love come and go, and I've seen friendships fade away. Still I know enough to tell you that I'm so glad you came my way. So glad you came my way. So glad you came my way. We'll do one more. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure here to hang out with you all for a few minutes. Valentine's Day. This song's called Nothing. I'd like to do nothing with you. Would you do nothing with me too? I'd like to say nothing today. Would you say nothing? Tell me true. I'd like to go nowhere I know. Come, let's go nowhere together. I wouldn't mind wasting all my time with you. That would be a pleasure. We'd be fine, nothing on our minds, cares and worries in the rearview mirror. We'd be free, just you and me. The future never getting nearer. I'd like to sit with you a bit. Let's hope that we don't catch the flu. But when I'm dead, rest your pretty head and know that I always love you. I'd like to do nothing with you. Would you do nothing with me too? Thank you.